I still prefer music.
Did either of you have any connection with the French graffiti writers from back then, from the mid-'80s? Like there were some very strong painting crews, BBC.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know Jay,
Jay and everybody, yeah.
Ski.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
You know, Jay was here.
Yeah, Jay came to the urban art thing yesterday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He got an expo close to the Carreau du
Carreau
Temple.
du Temple.
Yeah, he live there.
Yeah.
He got a flag.
Carreau du
right.
Temple, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Wow.
and
And
yeah,
that-
there's some
And the
famous.
the Chrome Angels from London, who also had a connection with Paris.
No, I don't know.
They painted here with an American-French guy named Bondo.
Oh, Bondo, yeah.
Philip Lehman.
Yeah, I know Bondo.
Yeah,
I know
yeah,
Bondo.
yeah.
He was like one of the first famous graffiti artists
Yeah.
in France.
Yeah.
Because I think got the chance to go early in USA,
Uh-huh.
some like 84,
And
85.
his father lived in the
Yeah,
USA, so he
Exactly.
was there.
By the time he come back to Paris, he was like years before the French
Yeah.
first writers,
Yeah,
you know. But there's John One, you know John
Yes,
Yeah.
One? Was in France now for,
long time.
close to 30 years now.
Yeah,
I think
Yeah.
they have family here now.
yeah. He does. He has a
Yeah.
wife and 2 kids
Yeah.
who are grown. And
And,
he's done.
He still don't speak French, I don't know why, but
He has another mode of expression. Yeah.
I would like to know what is your point of view about street art and graffiti. What is the difference between the two for you?
Lettering, for one thing. Graffiti is really all about the name and about lettering, calligraphy. It includes other things too, you know, mural painting, murals, characters and that kind of thing, but generally street art doesn't involve writing. And I mean, I think also it's done illegally, but mostly it's done with permission now. It's another significant difference.
Different
Graffiti
tools and
is
techniques.
mostly always done illegally. It's done.
Okay.
And many different tools and techniques for street art. You know, the weed
Right,
pasting
yeah,
or
yeah.
stencils or
Just
whatever.
the brush.
You know, and graffiti is pretty much spray can and marker. And the name is central to
Mhm.
graffiti
Mhm.
Yeah.
letters.
Because people make some misunderstanding about the two. They think that graffiti is on street art and street art is on graffiti or in hip hop culture. So
You should have come to my talk yesterday.
yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of overlap, but, I mean, and there are many street artists that came up doing graffiti and learned to paint, writing their names, and, for example, us Gemios, or Hal and Nazem, both sets of twins, and they still write on trains, and they still do a lot of illegal graffiti, but they're also known as street artists. And their street art is pretty much all about images, and their graffiti is all about writing their name with style, not just writing your name, but stylishly writing your name. But, I mean, there's some people that would, you know, if you're wheat pasting, if you're producing the work in your studio and then bringing it out and wheat pasting it on a wall, that's not really considered graffiti.
Right,
It might be illegal, but
Yeah.
I just wouldn't call it graffiti.
right. Graffiti means writing in the original Greek.
Yes.
True. Thank you.
That's not to say one is better than the other.
No.
That could, I mean, there could be.
I think the important thing is for both that it's out in public, that
Yeah,
it's,
the appropriation of space.
yeah.
You know, and public space, it's all about public space, yeah.
So millions of people get to see it. It's not an elite art form, which is only in the art galleries where hundreds of people get to see it. It's out there for millions.
Anybody can do it. That doesn't mean anybody can do it well, but
Right.
it's a wide open field for anybody that chooses to put their art on a wall. They can manage to do that, but anybody who wants to go in the gallery might have a hard time.
You have witnessed the birth of hip hop and the urban movement. So I would like to know your point of view of the movement nowadays.
What it's like nowadays?
Yes.
I mean, people are always asking me that, and they want me to say something like, oh, I think it's so commercial and it's not as authentic. But I don't, first of all, I'm only, Henry can have his own answer. I don't really follow hip hop. Yeah, I mean, it really is quite commercial now. It's very much an above ground culture. It's a worldwide culture. But on the other hand, there are a lot of people making a living from it, and I think it's important that artists can live from their art. Now, maybe, and people, the best people aren't, the most authentic people aren't making as much money as some of the more commercial people, but, I mean, as a photographer, I'm very sympathetic to the idea of people paying me for taking pictures, and it's not easy to make a living with that kind of career. I'm a freelance photographer. And I have a lot of respect for people who are in the arts and can make a living by doing that. So I'm certainly not going to criticize people for either selling out or being too commercial. Henry?
That's very well put. How can I really ditto everything you said.
I don't know, are there any photographers in the audience?
And artists,
I mean,
artists and photographers.
I'm not really
who
photographer.
are trying to make a living, and you know how hard that is. And, so.
I mean, one of the sort of really gratifying things that I realize now and I understand now is how many people have it has led to careers, whether it's painting or not. Often it's being a producer, being a filmmaker,
Art director.
being an art director. It's just opened up whole new fields for people that really learned their skills when they were teenagers, and they learned well because the pressure to be excellent is so strong that they learned probably better than they would have in any school where they didn't feel that same kind of pressure amongst your peers to excel. And that's a powerful engine for driving a person to really being excellent. And I think that has, people, I just see all the time people doing well in amazing careers, and that's where they got their start.
Well, what we saw earlier this afternoon was an
Yeah.
example of exactly that.
Yes. Yeah, terrific performances
We
that we
thought that
just
the
saw.
dancers were amazing.
Yeah,
And, we're on a small stage and with virtually no special effects,
yeah. Yeah.
just themselves.
They're wonderful.
And like basic lighting, no fancy backdrops, no fancy anything. They were amazing. I don't know
Yeah,
how
they've taken it to another level, really.
Yeah, mhm.
Very, very, wonderful artistic creativity
Yep.
of the original dance. I think. Development of the original into something else.
So
Very good.
I'm still surprised that hip hop has such a hold on, the younger generation, or at least I think it does. Is there something else coming up that anybody sees as taking over? I mean, like, when I was young, it was rock and roll, and I think hip hop is like way, squashed. So what is gonna squash hip hop? Anybody, is there anything like that sort of embraces so many different kinds of art? Art, music, dance.
Tour?
You think? Because you're probably more in touch with the youth scene here, because you're basically running this youth organization. Isn't it?
But as people talk about electro,
Electro.
yeah, there is music, there is fashion, there is, but for me, electro just concern a part of people. Hip hop, it's like
Everything.
everybody.
Universal.
And apparently, well, it's not going to change because it's the expression of a community who's not out at the moment. So as long as in different communities, the black communities, for example, is not going to be out and considered as any other communities, hip-hop will continue. And it will continue even if for a different part of his culture takes the name of hip-hop. This is my point of view. Well, everything can be named as hip-hop, but I think it's the way people are going to be out of their community or the neighborhood to become someone else or to be considered as. That's why hip-hop is going to keep on until.
Yeah. Do you mean out? In what sense do you mean out?
Well, for example, you know, if you look at the French society, hip hop is here for around 37 years now, and the representative of the black community it's still not out of this community and considered as the equal of any other part of the French community. So every kind of people who have and want to express something is going to put it in the hip hop culture.